Hello again, rail fans. You know, this past Saturday here in Central Florida was a beautiful clear blue day, and the first day in weeks that the temperature dipped below 90 degrees. So after I finished all my household chores around here, you know what I did. First stop was the Plant City train viewing platform on Amtrak 91 on its return trip out of Tampa. Only 3 coaches, 1 cafe car, and 1 baggage car. 3 days before this, Hurricane Michael had forced Amtrak to curtail the Florida trains. Rail fans are calling this the mini Palmetto. I followed 91 over to Winston, just west of Lakeland. On the north leg of the Y into the yard, I find a train arriving and 2 fellow rail fans already there. That's Trevor from Tarpon Springs on the left, Dalton from Lakeland on the right, and Q213 coming up the middle. I put these guys in the shot because, well, they remind me of me. Leading 213 today is a lone engine 378, a GE AC 4400 CW, built in the late 1990s in the Dash 8 era. If nothing else, that horn gives away its age. Power managers have decided that this train needs only 1 locomotive. So far, it hasn't been a problem. 213 is a daily auto-rack shuttle train from Baldwin to Winston. As it eases over a speed restriction in the yard, I notice that most of the cars on the head end are empty. Once upon a time, Q213 came loaded all the way from Louisville, Kentucky to Tampa. Now it drops cars along the way. More about that in a minute. I said farewell to the 2 rail fans and did some exploring around Lakeland. Then I lit down at Lakeland Connection. I was setting up a drone shot when Q453 came in from the north and stopped at Lakeland Junction, its crew change spot. While I packed up and moved around to that side of the George Jenkins Parkway Bridge, the crew tied the train down and left. This was Q453, but it didn't look like 453. It looked more like an old Q237. Solid auto racks on the head end. For years, 453 was identifiable by its hopper cars and sand gons, mixed with lots of boxcar and other miscellaneous. This 453 has a giant cut of auto racks on the head end, which it apparently had just picked up at Stokes Siding, about 8 miles to the north. The cars were dropped at Stokes by the Q213 we saw earlier at Winston. It's an interesting service design to get automobiles to the West Palm Beach market. The cars are dropped at Baldwin Yard by another train and are picked up by 213 and brought to Stokes, where 453 gets them and takes them to Palm Center outside West Palm. It's unclear why those racks can't be put on Q453 at Waycross, where it originates. A similar move used to happen with the Q250 Baldwin to Palm Center turn, but that job was abolished. As 453 awaits a new crew, we look closely at the 2 big engines. It caught my attention that engine 964 is labeled an ES44AH, but a close-up of the builder's plate shows it was built as an ES44AC. CSX has historically modified GE model numbers to suit its own needs, so it labeled these ES44AH, the H for heavy. Put them on a scale and these engines weigh about 432,000 pounds. And their traction motors can create 33,000 pounds of effort instead of the designed 30,000. These engines all carry GE remote monitoring and diagnostics, which send round-the-clock performance data to the company. So if 964 develops, say, a problem with a motor, a blower, or the PTC system, the power desk will know it immediately, and the Waycross engine shop can be ready when 964 gets back there tomorrow night. This GEVO also carries a Nathan K5HL-R2 horn with special evolution tuning. That's the low note you hear when this locomotive is coming at you. Trains magazine called this beast one of the 10 locomotives that changed railroading. After 30 minutes of all this waiting, I realized that no recrew was coming soon, so I started making my way home. Then a radio call changed my route.
9213. Locomotive 199 south of the main is clear. Plant City hold out, Plant City and Lakeland.
I was close, so I ducked in at North End Cherry Siding, just to the west of Plant City. I had more time than I thought, and standing here, it hit me. This is the kind of sensation that baseball fans feel when they talk about the smell of the grass and the crack of the bat. For us, it's this. That sound of a faraway horn that you know is rolling right at you. When you know the names of all the roads as the train crosses them. Alexander Street. Woodrow Wilson. Salmons Road, the horn getting louder with each crossing.
Locomotive 199 south of the main has a clear south end Cherry.
Now you know he's seeing the signal you're standing behind. And then he blows one more time, just for you. In 10 seconds, it's all over. It's impossible to explain to anyone the thrill we get out of this. This is railfanning, at least my version of it. At milepost A863.6, this is Danny Harmon, out.